Today we're talking personal finance, the pitfalls and the silver linings. With us is financial expert Ryan Mack. Ryan is the Mid-Atlantic Market President of Operation Hope, the nonprofit private banker for the working poor, the underserved, and the struggling middle class. I am your host, TNJ editor Sergie Willoughby. Ryan, what's the deal with the prepaid debit card industry? You have some experts who say that prepaid cards can be helpful for a consumer who, for whatever reason, cannot or does not want to bank with traditional banking institutions. But others say that prepaid debit cards are bad for everyone. What's your take on it?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and thank you for the work that the network journal is doing. It's always been a first-in-class editorial, and the community definitely appreciates it. I feel the prepaid debit card essentially has a misconception attached to it, promoted by those in the prepaid debit card industry who are essentially exploiting ignorance. The prepaid debit card is essentially a mechanism to make individuals unnecessarily spend money to use their own money. And many of them, if they will advertise that prepaid debit cards can improve credit, which is a fallacy. A prepaid debit card does not improve credit any more than a cash payment improves one's credit. Many individuals say that prepaid debit cards can assist individuals with budgeting. Well, I've never heard of a mechanism in which you have to spend money, which breaks your budget, to help you budget effectively. And I quite frankly don't know of anyone who can call themselves an expert unless they're being paid. Susie Orman recently, who came out with the approved card, essentially in every book. I wrote an article about it. In every book up until the time that she actually got a deal from a prepaid debit card organization was strongly against prepaid debit cards. She said the secured card was a better option, which I agree with. She said there's other alternatives which you don't have to spend money to use your own money. But once she got her deal with the approved card, then all of a sudden she changed the page in her book to all of a sudden endorse the brilliance of the prepaid debit card industry. So again, sometimes it's very hard to tell the truth if the lie is paying your paycheck. And I don't think there's a need for them. I don't think they're necessary. There are other alternatives such as secured cards, the bank-on movement. Many banks now are finding it very profitable, actually, to assist those individuals who previously were underbanked and unbanked to actually get into the banking system. There's a growing class of individuals who previously were left out and were looked down upon as if not a viable client. And this is individuals in low and moderate income families and communities, individuals who are leaving the middle class and growing into the growing class of the permanent underclass. A lot of these individuals now are becoming bankable, and it helps the individuals to make them bankable, to help them improve their credit, help them learn how to budget responsibly, use their money responsibly, be fiscally responsible, and to stop spending money to use your own money. So I'm strongly against them, and quite frankly, don't see much use for them.
Okay. Credit scores. Now, you have some consumers who accept high interest rates on credit cards, homes, auto loans, simply because they just don't have the best credit rating. Ryan, how damaging are these practices, and what's a better solution? Do you think it's better to wait until your credit score has improved? And if so, how long does it typically take for that to realistically happen?
Well, the low credit score essentially is one of the best advertisements for financial predators. Check cashing places, petty loans, cash advances, title loans, refund anticipation loans, prepaid debit cards, rent-to-own stores. All of these establishments target low credit score communities. They go after those communities where individuals have proven to not have the most responsible uses of their money and have a 500 credit score. If you have a 500 credit score, you are one of the biggest advertising billboards for someone who wants to give you a high interest rate, high yield loan. So absolutely the best solution is always to take some time before you make any financial decision and to improve your credit. we must understand first what credit is. 35% of your FICO score is paying your bills on time. Are you using automatic bill payment to make sure you're paying your bill on time? 30% of your FICO score is the balance to the lending limit ratio, meaning how much you owe compared to how much you have the ability to borrow. So are you paying your debt down is one of the fastest ways to improve your score. And if you can't afford your bills, I always like to say stop making bills. Many individuals are creating additional debt by spending money on things they don't need with money they don't have. Many individuals who purchase cars, essentially, if you have an auto loan and you can't afford that car, essentially what you've done is you now have a license to pretend. And you can be pretending that you own this vehicle, but you're in debt and you're extremely concerned of whether or not you'll be able to make that payment every month. And that's not a lifestyle that any rational and responsible person should want to live. So you want to establish history. You want to dispute various claims. Many individuals don't know one of the fastest ways to improve your score. At Operation Hope, we help individuals. First thing we do is pull individuals' credit report from the 3 various bureaus and then look to see if there's any errors on them. Over 75% of credit reports have an error on them. And once we correct those errors, dispute various claims, we've seen individuals get a 40-point jump within less than 30 days just because we have disputes removed from various reports. And then after that, we must be consistent in negotiating, paying down debt, getting interest rates lower to help your budget, as well as help the ease in the expedience in which you can pay back that debt, and then be consistent. And over time, we normally say you're less than 2 years away from moving your score over 120 points, and sometimes faster than that, depending upon those individuals who have less credit history. I personally do a lot of work with those who are formerly incarcerated, those who are recently widowed, those individuals who are recently graduates from school, those individuals who are veterans coming home from overseas and want to get acclimated back into society. Work with a lot of those individuals who haven't had the chance to establish credit. We can assist them at a very fast pace by doing responsible mechanisms, getting their credit on track in the right way.
Okay. And lastly, what is your advice for financial best practices? I know you just talked about a lot of them, but in the order of importance, if you could share with our listeners 1 or 2 of the top best practices for getting on the road to a healthy financial picture. Would it be building a nest egg, maintaining an investment account? I know I've heard that home ownership is the path to true wealth. What are, for example, the top 2 things that African Americans should be concerned about?
Well, first of all, you have to eliminate fear and greed from your financial strategy. Fear is one of the worst ways and one of the fastest ways to end up getting broke, because it was fear that in 2000 made everyone purchase investments and then sell, wrongfully so, when the stock market crashed, if they hadn't used fear or greed as the second one. Using fear and greed essentially caused a lot of individuals' 401k to go bust. So eliminate that from the investment strategy. Put together a prudent plan in which you think about, that you've thought about. Talk to a certified financial planner that's qualified, that understands your needs, who you trust. After at least 2 conversations, getting various referrals to help them put together a comprehensive financial strategy. I'll never say that one, whether it be buying homes, buying stocks, putting money into a business, neither one is the best investment. All of those should be prudent investments if you, whatever your financial goals are, can put together a diversified, comprehensive investment strategy that fits your need. And you need to get some help with that. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. We should be bringing our family members together to really have candid conversations about investing, putting together nest eggs of emergency funds, 9 to 12 months of living expenses. All of these things and more. I wish I could just say it's at least top 1 or 2, but I can't necessarily select just one that is the most important, because there are a lot that are important, but overall, eliminating fear and greed, taking your time to put together a solid financial strategy and sticking to it and being consistent are probably the most important thing in any financial plan and strategy.
Good tips. Thanks so much for your time, Ryan.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You
Thank you for the
too.
work.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.